Hi. Okay, so let's do an actual reading. So I pulled two cards. Well, I pulled a card. I got the Goddesses deck. This is Tiamat, number 52. And she is the god of chaos, goddess of chaos, creation, and the ever-changing nature of existence. She's the polarized life giver and the life taker, the devouring mother, and the nurturing mother. And then we also got Segment at the bottom of the deck, and it's number 46, and she is the lion-headed goddess. She's a goddess of power, destruction, and healing, war, healing, and protection. She overcomes challenges and protects the sacred. She's the powerful one. And the Eye of Ra. She's a guardian of Ma'at, which is, Ma'at is, she's the protector of, or she's like the balance, all about, so the weighing of the feather and the heart, you know, that story. Anyway, so those are significant. Also, I asked, what is this reading going to be in regards to, and I got the Sun and the Seven of Cups. So it's choosing happiness, prosperity, healing, you know, the Sun energy. So also this morning I woke up and two of these cards were under my bed, which I don't know how they got there, but it was the Death card and Temperance card. So it's like I slept with those under my bed the whole night, which are death, transformation, endings, but also temperance. It's that angelic energy, like Archangel Michael. It's interesting that that was under my bed. Anyway, it's like, well, and I don't remember any dreams. Like I woke up and I didn't have any. I don't know. I was sleeping really hard because I was tired. I got home at like after midnight. It was like 12 something, and I was wanting to get up early to go and get the, you know, church crowd or whatever, you know, but my body was like, nope, you're not going nowhere. I was too tired. Okay, so I'm thinking Sedna, because we have, you know, Tiamat, the transformative. So the story of Tiamat, excuse me, the ever-changing nature of existence, right? The goddess of chaos, creation, the ever-changing nature of existence, balance, but the balance, she's about the balance between chaos and order, feminine strength, and Mercury, the primordial mother archetype, the great mother, right? So it's the polarized life giver, the nurturing mother, and the life taker, the devouring mother, and the womb tomb is like the devouring mother. The counterpart to her is the wise old man, like the hermit, and she teaches that growth requires decay, and chaos must be organized to find purpose, right? So the story is, after younger gods killed her children, Apsu was annoyed by her noise, her grieving and things, and she transformed and became the chaos monster. She birthed an army of monsters and transformed into a dragon to reclaim her children to the void. And so there's something about that, becoming the dragon. The powerful dragon. So Sekhmet. Okay, and I'm going to do a different kind of spread. I'm going to do past, present, future, and then unseen influences and hidden potential. And then we'll clarify. I don't have my glasses on because I get tired of wearing them. They're so heavy. I thought about getting some new ones, but I'm like, I have so much going on again. I'm like barely able to find time to do these readings. Like, I want to. I don't know. It's like I get a few steps forward and like 3 steps back because I feel like I'm never making any progress. Okay, past 10 of Wands. Yeah, and the 2 of Wands. So the 2 of Wands is about planning, strategy, having the world but not choosing it, or choosing the world and leaving the void behind. So also I think of this as like the growth that comes from burden. It comes from those life struggles. So like the wisdom that comes from life struggles. And of course Hecate comes up with this. So there's Hecate guiding this reading because we have the dragon too. Like the dragon to me is the devouring mother, the dark moon mother. Yeah. So, and then we also have the 6 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, and Temperance. So this is about a collaboration to write, to balance like the, excuse me, the burden. It's like making the choice to collaborate in some way, right? And lift the burden from your life, or choosing the path forward would be, you know, choosing, okay, I've learned this and that from these struggles, so now going forward I choose a path of peace, a path of like maybe happiness for myself, you know, choosing to cut out like what toxic things that aren't working for me, and choosing healing over like that darkness, right? Like we could drift off into the void, or like for Tiamat, like she could have chosen to just stay quiet and stuff her pain, right, or her grief. Instead she transformed and became the dragon and took vengeance. And I'm not saying take vengeance, but like it was healing for her to transform herself into something that did something. Sorry, I got a notification. Like, what is that? But yeah, so there's something about that, like taking action, transforming into something more to deal with. And of course it's never good to like go into making yourself toxic, but in this metaphor, or in this, it's like Lilith coming for vengeance, but it's like also not submitting to. So in my own life, it's been me not being quiet about, you know, like I could stay quiet and stay submissive in my own life, but that's only hurting me. And then in this life, I'm meant to like love myself and like do more than just be submissive. The Page of Swords is what we got for the present moment. So we may be learning something, maybe freeing, like bringing messages of truth, freeing the bird. There's optimism in this card. You know, she's got her sword and her bird. She's standing and looking over like the palace or whatever. Like I could live in this palace, but I'm so free here, you know, like in the wilderness, you know. It's like seeing the trap, and being somebody that comfort, like words. So seeing the trap and being in that pretty cage, you know, like in that palace, in that like small, like, you know, unable to be yourself, you know, having to conform, you know. That's the Five of Wands. That's the conflict here. So you're overlooking, seeing the chaos. So she's the goddess of chaos here and creation, you know. So maybe you're creating a little chaos here. Maybe you're to like for the good of things, you know. But what does it say? Growth requiring decay. Chaos must be organized to find purpose. So like you're organizing the chaos, like this was this, that was that, this is why this, and you know, putting order to it in your mind and being objective in that way. So 10 of Cups, 9 of Swords. So this is a family ordeal, possibly. Bringing messages of truth to bring order to the chaos that was your family, maybe like the dysfunction of your family, or the origins of it, and using that to create something like the paintbrush. So, and you notice the flames on this card, and it's like it's reminding me of like, this is the horse here, the fire horse. Anyway, this is about slaying demons, right? Slaying the demons and ascending to that, you know, the 9. So ending those things. It's a completion. Completing, starting back at 1. So it's like ending the cycle and making new, carrying out new ideas with the Sword of Truth and the free bird. Like you freed your bird. And I'm seeing like the bird as like the soul. Like, you know, you're like freeing your soul. Because like, okay, think of like if you were a mother who lost her children, and the man that's supposed to love you is or the father, you know, of these children doesn't seek vengeance, doesn't see the point of your grief or sorrows or anything, and is like, just shut up, you know. Like, if you don't become the dragon, really suppress like something, a soul within you and their soul, you know what I mean? Like the children, there's like a rightful revenge in some way, like, but it's not even, maybe for her it was revenge, but like in our lives here, it's really just like an awakening of like putting right that soul energy, you know, like, sorry, my words fail me. Clarify, what's the future energy? Ace of Cups. So this is that self-love, that love and abundance, that overflow, and the Two of Cups. So the duality of, like, the nurturing mother wanted to devour the enemies that took her kids, you know what I mean? So it's the both together that, you know, it not only heals her, but also protects, and like, because, you know, there's it's protecting her emotion, right? Her need for justice, you know, and like segment is protector of justice, of you know, that fair balance, you know, because she protects Ma'at, the guardian of Ma'at, who stands for justice, what's right, you know. Okay, so Two of Cups, death, that's that transformation, and the sun. And we also have the Six of Cups here. There's like innocence in this segment, is also the protector of innocence. So there's union here with the love of self, and I believe the divine, you know, because this is all about, you know, divine love, right? Like the power of loving self is about also the divine, because like, how do I explain? When Mercury is in retrograde, you know, it's like that transformation of suppression into like an outward display of, you know, justice, peace, you know, healing, all of the things that, like, it's like you would think an angel would like come down and like fight for you, like if you know, like injustice but you're doing that for yourself instead. Does that make sense? And that's the transformation, and that's the healing part of it, and like that's where you get your happiness. So it's like finding peace and happiness for yourself, whereas like you're not waiting for somebody else to fight your battles, because she could have been maybe waiting for Tiamat, could have been waiting for Apsu to, you know, bring justice for her kids, you know. But if he's finding her annoying, she's never going to get that from him. So she goes and gets it for herself and takes on that dragon energy, that dragon. So that's embodying her grief. And like, you know, you have to sit with your grief. You have to sit with all your emotions in order to get past it, right? So to find that for yourself, like that balance. So it's kind of like anytime we do that, we're transforming ourselves and like flushing out like any it's almost like a demon. Like I would say like you know, you'd be flushing out what doesn't, or you know what I mean, like what doesn't, and then transforming it into what does. I don't know how else to explain it, but I hope I'm making sense. Like it's like flushing out void energy to be like the sun, like the power, you know, the purpose. It's like bringing to purpose what wasn't purposeful, like in like a trauma or that chaos energy. I don't know if that's making any sense. But bringing back to like words really do fail. Like honestly, they fail. Because what I'm feeling is like, it's like bringing the sun to the void. Does that make sense? Because like what better way? So that's what she did, like with the dragon. That's what Sedna did with like going down, drowning, coming back, you know, transformed. So that's like the union of it all. The dark and the light that transforms and brings the sun, you know. And I don't know. Okay, so what is the unseen influence in this? Let me do one more. The Tower. So, wow. It's like sudden upheaval, sudden change, change that brings transformation, like I'm saying. And the Two of Cups again. So death, the sun, yeah, okay. So this is an unseen thing. Weird. Oh my gosh, we got the same exact cards as the Ace of Cups. So this is like bringing it in. So bringing in, wow, more self-love, more self-fulfillment. So that is interesting. So everything that I just said, again, like that transformation, like that tower moment, like this is a sudden epiphany, like a sudden holy shit or holy fuck, you know, like, you know, like this. It's like you protecting the sacred of yourself, the sacred of things, and maybe stopping the burdens of, you know, whatever it was that you were overwhelmingly, there was like an overwhelming death of things, like a feeling of death, a feeling of like decay, a feeling of like there's no growth here. it could be anything, you know, like apply it wherever it fits, but there's a need to go within and find the truth of things, and then free the bird from the palace, the pretty palace that, or the cage, the pretty cage that was comfortable. And then freeing yourself, the adventure of it all is like becoming the dragon, right? Becoming the dragon and taking justice in some way. So it's like becoming everything that you never knew that you could be. It's like the whole 180 of like making the changes that are needed, that bring in the new. Okay, and hidden potential. Oh, let me put these back. What's the hidden potential? The Five of Wands. Okay, so now you're bringing the chaos, the Seven of Pentacles. So Nine of Swords, and the Empress, and the Magician is at the bottom. Okay, so in some ways we're creating the chaos because we're becoming the dragon. So the shoe is on the other foot. The shit hit the fan. like you're the shit and you're hitting the fan. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's instead of sitting back and taking being the submitter in submission, you're putting effort towards the dragon energy to ascend into chaos, and in a way that's being, you know, the creator, but in some ways justice is here. It's understanding that like you have all you need to be. So okay, also transformed into a dragon to reclaim. So you're reclaiming this, and also the sun energy, right? So here we're seeing the snake, you know, at the waist, but the options here, like you, oh look, and the hermit is behind that. So the counterpart to Tiamat is the hermit, and so there's also wisdom here. So we also have the five of swords, Five of Wands here, and the Wheel of Fortune, and then also the Two of Pentacles, which is all about change, balance. So like this is you being that. So it's all about duality. The pendulum swings, right? So now it's your being the chaos in some way, and there's also rightful chaos. Like, okay, so we're not just gonna sit back and watch the fire burn. We're gonna, you know what I mean, get into action in some way. Okay, so dang. And that's the effort that we're putting towards things to slay the demon and bring, you know, the sun. Interesting. And it's also about creation, right? The birthing of the new. So this is going to take action on your part to build up, and that could be the Five of Wands as well. It doesn't have to be chaos, but it's like the building up. It might feel like chaos, but it's actually just a building up of the new. And it could also feel like this tower too. So yeah. Okay, do we need to clarify? Okay, let me clarify. What deck? Okay. I don't want to make this too long. Okay, let's see. But I talk. Well, it's like when you get to explanation mode. I don't know. Clarify the Ten of Wands. What was burdening? What was the burden? Okay. So I got 3. So the Sun is at the bottom. The Emperor came out first. We also have the Tower and the 3 of Pentacles. These kind of came out sideways, upside down. So I'm getting that this Emperor person could be multiple people in your life. There was like an illumination of them not it's like people in your life not changing for the better, not being cooperative, not it's like you were the only one. It was like a power move in some way for, you to be burdened, but these people to not have, like, they're sitting on their throne. You're the servant. It's like Cinderella energy, like you were the only one tugging, pulling your weight, in relationships. It was like everything was falling apart, but you were the tree that held it together. You know what I mean? Like, balancing like the whole world on your brittle branches. Do you know what I mean? But like now you see the fruit. It's like, okay, you had to kill or be killed, in some way, like metaphorically speaking, of course. And take your own throne. Do you know what I mean? I keep asking that, but it's not like you're answering it. But anyway, so that's ending because you're eliminating some sort of you're eliminating the dynamics of the situation that you see, and then you're becoming the dragon. Page of Pentacles, the World, and the Ace of Wands. That is beautiful. Yeah, you learned. So you've illuminated the lesson for yourself and closed the cycle. Where, like I said, the pretty cage, right? The womb. It's that devouring mother energy of nothing can grow outside of your own, like their own understanding, or like it's the conforming to being what they want. And it doesn't have to be mother, but it could be like relationships, it could be anything. But it's basically you conform to this way of thinking, or you're shunned. And that's the power dynamics, which was a heavy burden because you're not being true to yourself. Like the example again of Tiamat, where she's in grief, but she can't just swallow the grief that she feels in this way. She has to not necessarily exact revenge, but she has to get it out. You know what I mean? And then the phoenix rising from the ash, clarify the page of swords. The Eight of Wands, forward movement. So there's like a standing upright. The Eight of Wands is about a victory, like a swift victory, like a sudden, and the King of Cups, emotional stability. So like there was I'm feeling like this is like an awakening, like you found order in some way and moved forward. There's like, the sword of truth here because of your communication, the way you move forward and communicate truth and emotional stability, like being emotionally upright in some way. Temperance, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. So you're both, and Queen of Cups, King of Cups is, counterparts. So it's like the masculine and the feminine, and the Queen of Cups, King of Cups is emotional stability to the level of like, I nurture, but also I'm stoic. And communicating in that way, like it's the duality of it. The angelic way of being, like, I don't know, in some way. So you're a sweetheart, but you're also going to stand up for your freaking self. And in that way, you're moving forward. Clarify the Ace of Cups. And like, for example, Tiamat, Apsu could have just been, understanding and listened to her grief, and maybe talked about it. I don't know, like helped her to grieve in a healthy way. But instead, he shunned her emotions, and which pissed her off. Clarify the Ace of Cups. Because when you stifle these things, it's healthy to deal with your emotions, and there's always fuzz. I think this blanket just sheds. Anyway, so there's a way of dealing with things in a healthy way and not being stifling to people. But a lot of times people can't face their own truths, so they make it impossible for you to like do that with them. Clarify the Ace of Cups. So, okay. We have the Hierophant and the Ace of Cups. So the Hierophant is the wise one, the mentor. And of course, I always see this as like the, like having a powwow with yourself. So you're the third person, the duality of things, like, so you have your masculine and feminine sides having a powwow, and like the chief is like the united one. Does that make sense? So like them together, and then so that's your higher self. I'm getting chills. So your higher self wants to know both aspects, wants to see both aspects of yourself so that you can ascend in some way, because both are wounded. Temperance, Queen of Swords, the Fool. So this is about a new beginning of being the mentor in some way, of being able to see both sides of things and having that perspective of the united front, right? Like the healing, the healed, version of self, where we've taken a look at both, like what was broken in both, and then we make it upright, right? So it's having compassion for both sides. It's seeing the woundedness in both sides and setting right in some way by making it right, and however you choose to, do that, whether it's like cutting people off or trying to have communication or open communication, it's like making amends in ways, changing behaviors where maybe before you just kind of go to work and just never deal with it, But it's also sitting with that in yourself first, and making sure that it's understood. Something's understood, like what's clear. It's clear within you, like what happened, whatever that conflict was. Anyway, the burdens, like you understand the burdens, you understand the lack of change, lack of cooperation, the power dynamics, Clarify the Tower. The Six of Cups and the Fool. Clarifying the Tower. So that's a bit confusing to me. So this is the unseen influences. So, okay. Knight of Cups, Page of Wands, King of Swords. So seeing clearly maybe childhood things, the sincerity or the lack thereof of the past people, places, things that were not really true. Maybe I'm saying naivety, or like that the need to go on your own way. It's also the harshness of like past people, places, and things that didn't want to see your potential. but instead stifled you to keep you small. And mostly it was their lack of like emotional stability within themselves. Like I'm getting like that King and Queen of Cups that we got earlier. It's like that's the forward movement, because like you're able to be in your emotions and actually be healthy in that way, where maybe they're closed off to that. They're more logical or cerebral, or just not necessarily logical. But definitely not connected to their heart space, and which made communication difficult, right? Which made truth difficult, because a lot of times people who can't face their own emotions don't face truth very well either, because they don't like how it feels, right? But I'm not getting that you're like that. I'm getting that you're able to move forward quickly because you're able to look at the truth of things, and that's why you're this messenger. And also, you know, segment being here, it's like the justice part of it. You know, protector of justice. Excuse me. Clarify the 5 of Wands. So, and this could also be their childhoods being the influence, the hidden, unseen influence of things. I'm getting confirmation. They're unhealed. And determined to hide and leave that cold and detached. So, and that's how they see victory, is to hide. Yeah. Because it's like a hole. Like, so instead they'll cage your bird. I'm also getting like they'll take your bird and try to fit it in their bird hole. It's a funny way to put it. But leave you without yours. You know what I mean? Clarify 5 of Wands. The 2 of Swords. So yeah, this is about the introspection of, you know, the out in the cold energy, like the that detached energy creating chaos. So this is the hidden potential. So let me see. That it was a choice all along. And like, so the duality of it too is that, you know, now you are leaving them and getting away. Yeah. The Page of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. Chills all over, like, what the heck? Because, like, the key is that they're willing to leave you out in the cold and bury things, the truth, right? Like that's the thing, but you have to kind of upheaval it, like dig it out yourself. Or the fact is that they could also, that they wear a mask and say, oh no, I can't. But it's a self-love thing. It's they could escape this too, and it's about actually escaping the matrix themselves, but they'd rather stay in conflict and hide and wear masks. So the hidden potential is that they are choosing this. It's a stalemate energy of like choosing chaos instead of choosing healing and a path forward and self-love, where that's why the future is the wise one. It's like, what's wrong with the palace? Like the pretty cage, It looks so cold and like not warm at all, and like they're like, hey. And it's also like planting seeds of, see how like the leaves are falling off, like things are dying there, but like it's like it could be growing. I don't know, it's like the desolate, escaping the desolate, becoming like this wave of healthy emotion, like this healthy. That's why we got the sun. We got the sun like twice or 3 times in this. And it's crazy how we got the Ace of Cups twice at the end here. So I don't know, it's like taking this sort of truth in your hands and like leaving the rest and like going on this journey of the full energy, the pilgrimage of like, okay, well, this isn't working for me. So I have to protect myself, my heart, and be like, take on this dragon energy and be like Sekhmet, the dragon of Tiamat. And sometimes it's like a destruction of relationships to protect self and just, still be open, of course, because that's what's needed. But I do believe in there being a time that like we have to kind of be alone. Sometimes, Anyway, I hope this helps. It's been a very long one, so I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps.